Hey guys, I was going to give y'all a brief pantry tour today, and I just got finished rearranging this room back here, and this is our deep pantry. So a deep pantry is a room where we store things that we do not use very frequently, obviously other than the cleaning supplies. But these are items like leftover, or not leftover, but extra dog food, extra rabbit food. I've got some salt, sugar, rolled oats, rice. Yes, I have rice in one of these buckets. And these buckets have gamma lids, which you have to put on with a rubber mallet. You put the ring on with a rubber mallet, and then the lid is threaded, and it has a seal on it. They're really handy, especially if you're getting in and out of the buckets a lot. Okay, and then here we've got just those wire racks that you can get at any of the big box stores. There's two of these, and I think that they're the 4 foot wide, about 18 inches deep. I think that that's right. But up on top, I put things that I really am not going to use very often. The shelves that are at eye level or hand level, I call that my prime real estate. And those are things, that's where I store things that I use more frequently. The things that are very high and the things that are very low are things that I do not use very frequently. So that just kind of saves you some aggravation. But up high, I've got coffee, peanut butter powder. I keep wanting to say power. Peanut butter powder. I've got some tools up here like a tortilla press, my apple core peeler, a random basket. Down here I've got my dehydrated goods, and I really love these. I did most of these myself. I have an Excalibur, I think it's a 9-tray dehydrator. I think that's right. Glad I went with that one, because when all the produce comes in, you definitely need the extra space in your dehydrator. It's just really cool. Like, these tomatoes are probably, honestly, they're probably 3 years old. I didn't put any kind of oxygen pack in it. It's just sealed. That happens to be a Pioneer Woman marinara jar. And I opened them the other day, and they are just as crispy as the day that I put them in. And then over here, I have things like parsley. I've got some cilantro here. When you dehydrate herbs, you want to do it at a lower temperature. I think it's 105 to 115 degrees. I think you're going to have to double check that, because if you do it like you do your other vegetables, it'll turn your leaves brown on your herbs because they're so thin and delicate. And I found that out the hard way. So I like to use those. Down here I've got my canned goods. This is all jelly. We don't use a whole bunch of jelly, but good to have. Got applesauce, apple rings, random elderberry. Behind that this is peach pie filling. Again, don't use that very often, but sure is handy when you need to take a dessert somewhere. Just throw it in a pie crust. Stewed tomatoes. I've got these green tomato, not relish, but pickled green tomatoes. Don't eat a lot of those. I'm not going to repeat that probably. I've got, what do we call these? They're sweet pickles. It's yellow squash with red peppers, and then it's like bread and butter. This was an experiment I did this year because I had an insane amount of zucchini, and it is bread and butter zucchini, and they are excellent. They are excellent. I always use pickle crisp in all of my pickle recipes, and I think it's calcium chloride, but you can get it. Ball makes it, and it's called pickle crisp, and you only use a quarter of a teaspoon in a quart, maybe, and an eighth in a pint, and it makes your pickles very crispy. And then of course here I've got dill pickles. So coming down, I've got some pancake mix, oil, which we don't use a lot of that either, random fake lemons, and leftover dog food. And then down here I've got some lentils, instant mashed potatoes, hash brown potatoes, and then 2 types of rice. Got some water storage, and then here I've got some almond milk in those Tetra Paks. It's a 6-pack, and I need to definitely get more of those. I like to keep about at least 4 boxes of that on hand just in case. Oops, sorry, moving too fast here. Okay, up at the top, this is super deep storage here. These are things more like what I would consider an emergency type foods. It's the number 10 cans, and we've got things like spaghetti bites, elbow macaroni, white flour, rolled oats, sliced dehydrated apples, the freeze-dried vegetables, freeze-dried fruits. And then I've got two, way up there, that Coleman stuff, two battery-powered fans in case we have a power outage in the summer. And I think there's some dairy product back there as well. And then here starts my sweeteners. So powdered sugar and baking things. Honey powder, which I didn't realize was mostly sugar. Wouldn't buy that again. Baking soda, stuff like that. And these things that are sealed in these cans, it varies as far as their shelf life. But some things last up to, 25, 30 years, which is amazing. It also depends on the temperature that you keep them at. I want to say the right temperature is, well, the cooler you can keep it, the longer it will keep. So I try to keep this room cool. Got oats, more pancake mix, rice, noodles, beans, and then down here starts the vegetables, so all kinds of vegetables there. And then down at the bottom, I've got my water storage. And I cannot remember how many gallons per person. Gosh, you'll have to look it up. But I want to say for a 2-week supply, I'm supposed to keep 50 to 55 gallons for our family of 4. And that's only a 2-week supply. But, you have to start somewhere. And so I got a lot of the 5-gallon, I want to say barrels, that's not it, 5-gallon bottles. And that adds up very quickly. I don't have it in here because I'm recharging it. But there's this little rechargeable thing that you can just flip up the bottle, take off the lid, and you put this dispenser. It's a dispenser on the top. And so you don't have to have one of those, those water bottle tower things, because it's hard for me. I mean, that's 40 pounds, I think, each. And that's very hard for me to lift. So I got this dispenser so that I could just flip those little guys over, leave it on the floor, and dispense the water if needed, which I will. I need to cycle through it. I think you're supposed to cycle through it every 6 months, but anyway. So then we've got some wheat berries. Got hard white wheat. Got 4 things of those, and then just my coolers. I love this thing. It's just so weird. Got some linen towels. And then my husband got me this cool tapestry, and I just hung it up in here to cover up the wall. Make it a little groovier. And yes, it is snakes, because I like snakes and creepy crawlies. So yeah, so that's our deep pantry. And you'll see a lot of videos on YouTube, and they have these deep pantries, and they're jaw-dropping. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. But I think it can also be intimidating, too. I know even for me it's intimidating, where you have this, these people have at least a year's worth of food. And anyway, it's beautiful, but it might be a little off-putting. So I hope that this video will show you that just the average person can make their own deep storage pantry, long-term food pantry. And that it doesn't take someone who can build you specialized racks. Doesn't take you having to can all the time. I'm just going to cut in and dub over this here and just tell you that my whole point was that it doesn't take thousands of dollars. It doesn't take special skills to build your own food storage pantry. So just get out there, get started, get it done, and build it a little at a time. Thank y'all so much for watching. And if you ever have questions, just send me a comment. Bye-bye.